Well, greetings. Tonight we're going to put together what we call the fish in a bag. You can see some of the ingredients laid out here. I say fish in a bag, but actually we create a meal in a bag. And some of the optional ingredients, including the vegetables that we add, such as quartered artichokes and water. We're going to add some instant rice to the outside of the fish pouch to create, again, that meal. Both of these items are optional. You can just do the fish with the garnish and flavor elements. And last but not least, we have our stapler for putting it all together. You could substitute asparagus, perhaps, to lay around the outside, as you'll see what we do with the artichokes, instead of using those, or again, you can do the fish plain. We're going to get our fillets here, and okay, we're back. The fish we're using today is, we call it king clip. It's a nice meaty white fish. You can use anything from tilapia, snapper, probably cod, grouper. This is a little on the thick side, and they're narrow strips. I prefer a little flatter, a little thinner fillet, but for today's meal, this will work out just fine. This is approximately about 8 inches of fish. First, we put a little bit of olive oil down on the parchment paper, and get our fillet and just move it around a little bit and get it seated. I like at this time to add just a little bit of olive oil on top. Next thing is a little salt and pepper seasoning. This has a little garlic in the shaker altogether. Get our seasoning on there. And then we layer the different vegetables. We've got chopped garlic, very thinly sliced red onion, we've got fresh basil, and fresh cherry tomato sliced up, and we have a little bit of lime juice. The other ingredients that we're going to use is a good drinkable wine. If you can't drink it at the table, don't use it for cooking. We'll show you how that goes on in a moment. So once we've got the fish laid out on the parchment paper, the olive oil, and the seasoning, we start to layer on the flavor elements, and start with the garlic. Get that nice and laid down on top. Then I like to put some of this thinly sliced red onion. You can use scallions, you can use white sweet onion. If you don't like onions, you can skip them. The whole idea with these flavor elements is we really want to infuse flavor into this dish, because basically we're poaching our fillet, and I don't know about you, but I really just don't like poached fish unless it's got a lot of flavor, and this is how you get that flavor. You get these very flavorful vegetables and the basil herbs, the lime juice. The white wine we'll add a little bit later, so now we're getting the tomatoes loaded up. Let's get the fresh basil. A good layer of the fresh basil on there. Okay. Now here comes the optional items. You could just wrap this up now, staple it up, put it in the oven. We're going to bake this at about 425 degrees for 20 to 23 minutes. We're going to do 2 of these fillets, and we're going to put them after we wrap them up on a baking dish. The next part of our fish in a bag meal is to take some brown rice, and this is instant rice. Very important that you use the pre-cooked rice, because it's not in the oven long enough and doesn't have enough moisture to get the regular rice completely cooked. And in fact, sometimes, depending on the amount of moisture that you use, the rice can be a little bit crunchy, but I don't mind that a bit. It adds a nice texture to the dish. So what we're doing is we're putting a nice little ring, if you will, of the rice around the outside, and then here comes the vegetables. Again, you could take some asparagus to sort of dam this up, and that's really what we use these artichokes for, is to bring this rice up against the fillet and create a little bit of a dam here, so to speak, because then we're going to pour the white wine on top to bring the moisture into the dish, which is critical to the steaming and poaching of the fish, and for the rice to get nice and soft and tender, and to steam these vegetables as well. As I said, you could use asparagus, would be great as a substitute if you don't like artichokes. You could skip the rice, still use the vegetables. It's really up to you. It's a pretty flexible recipe. You may have to vary the cooking time just a little bit depending on what other ingredients you either do or don't do. So there you go. You've got a nice little moat. We'll squeeze some fresh lime juice on there. I'd like to add that to our fish. Okay. And then last but not least, good Chardonnay, Pinot Grigio, just a decent white wine of your choice. And we just pour that on carefully. Don't overdo it. You don't want it to run out, and it probably will run out a little bit, as you can see. And that's when the next trick comes in, and that is to take the parchment paper and gather it up. I like to roll it. Some other folks fold it up a bunch of times, but I like to roll it and quickly get a staple in there to hold it for me in the top. Roll it a little more at the other end. Get another staple in there like that. Continue to roll it once more at this end. We'll get a staple in there, and then bring the ends up, and get a staple in there. Can. That one didn't hold very well. A little bit of vegetables in the way. Don't worry about that. Get another one on there. And get the other end. As you see, we lost a little bit of the wine. Got a little overzealous on the wine pour there. But not a big deal. Get the staples in. And there you have it. A nice little pretty much airtight packet. We'll move that over to the baking dish just like this. And we'll fix up the second one, put them both in the oven, 425 for about 23 minutes. And we'll show you what it's like when it comes out of the oven. Okay, we're back. After 24 minutes in the oven, we've got our pouches baked. And we're just going to cut around the staples, open it up. I like to serve it right in the bag. That way, just kind of eat it right from the wrapper. Cut that down the side. Roll it back. And there you have it. You've got the rice, the artichokes, the fish. Let's break into that. Look at that. Oh yeah, it's perfect. See how it tastes. Oh, perfect. Enjoy.